Hello everyone and welcome back. We've got a two-part video this time, and I'm here with Chris, my friend, who has the BMW i3s, and we're going to be discussing his massive kilometre usage so far, and also we're going to be talking about his solar setup, as he has 21 kilowatts of solar on 3-phase. So let's check that out. So Chris's i3 has been in some of my videos already that you may have seen, and I just wanted to hear from Chris about his experience about that so far. How long has he owned the i3? How many kilometres has he done? What sort of consumption he's getting? And just his general experience.
Yeah, John, I'm up to about 21 months now, and I've done, as of yesterday, 83,000 kilometres. And
83, that's pretty massive, isn't it, really?
Yeah, I do a lot of driving. I enjoy driving. At the moment, the car's sitting on 12.8 kilowatts per 100. That's obviously what the car consumes. And I've been tracking all the kilowatts that go in, and I'm sitting on 13.8 actually consumed at the point.
Yeah, so the differentiation being the amount that you're seeing in the car versus the amount you're putting in at the charger?
Yeah, so it includes like all charging losses and that sort of stuff.
Okay, and so 80,000 kilometres in 21 months, that's around about 40 to 50 a year, is it? What is your range per charge? What are you seeing at 100%?
So if it's all around town, then basically it's an easy 250, and if it's mainly highway work, then it's a fairly easy 200.
Okay, so 200 to 250, but then you've managed to do 80,000 kilometres in 21 months, so that's incredible, to be honest. And that really puts to bed the range anxiety of owning an EV, doesn't it? So it goes to really show that you can own an EV and do a lot of kilometres, and it's in that aspect. Then, what is your charging regime?
Look, I don't really think I've got one. I charge when I can. Every opportunity. When I get home at night time, obviously there's no sun, so I don't bother charging, but I do plug in, and then the charge starts happening while I'm still asleep in the morning. So it's automatically happening as the sun comes up.
Yeah. And would you say that you're primarily charging at home and supplementing with DC fast charging?
As I get more comfortable with charging from home, I'm definitely trying to do more and more of that. DC charging, I've got no issue with. I'm not seeing any battery degradation. I have been a heavy DC charger usage. We've done long trips up to Cairns, and we basically DC charged full time for, what was that, a 2-week holiday. So, a typical DC charge for me is anywhere from 20 minutes to half an hour. If it's a long road trip and I need all the juice I can get, that jumps up to about 40 minutes. But if I come in on empty and I want to leave on 90%, then yeah, basically 40 minutes and I'm on the next leg anyway. But I've got a family, so stopping every 2.5 hours is not an issue. By that time, my son, who's quite young, needs his break anyway, so we just time everything perfectly with that on the longer trips. And that could be going to the Gold Coast for the day or up to Toowoomba. There's normally 1 or 2 DC chargers, and Bob's your uncle, we're back home again, and that sort of thing.
So with that in mind, and let's just talk about the economics of the EV, because you and I have both paid around about 70,000 for our EVs. We both have solar setups, and we're both essentially primarily charging at home from solar. So how are the economics of like working out for your situation?
Yeah, well, I've been tracking everything from day one, and honestly, just this month I cracked the $20 mark, total fuel costs. Whereas
$20.
yeah, $20. If I was driving the same amount of Ks in my last car, then I would be basically right on the $10,000 mark on fuel.
Wow,
So
10,000.
Big difference.
So already your $70,000 car's down to $60,000 only after 21 months. If you take out
Just
the fuel
looking-
cost only.
Yeah, just looking at the fuel costs, but there are other benefits as well.
Yeah.
So in my last car at 80,000 Ks, I was already basically booking my, what would it be, the sixth service. Yeah, because obviously 15,000 Ks or 12 months. So
And what was your ICE car costing for a service, approximately?
I just got my local mechanic to do it. He was about 160,
Okay.
but every probably 30,000 there was a major thing.
So it's
that
about
needed
$1,000 for 6 services, approximately.
I can refer to my phone on that.
Yeah, approximately. But in relation to your i3, how much are you up to with maintenance on that?
So with the i3, I've only had one service. That was done back in May last year at the 1 year mark. That was about 40,000 or 44,000 Ks in, and that was 220.
Okay.
And that was a major service that had the fuel. Sorry, I shouldn't say that. had the brake fluid change, and also the cabin filter, which is the ones that are normally done every 2 years. But because the car had been sitting before I'd bought it, then I needed to do those either at that point or before the next.
They rotate
service.
the tyres?
They don't rotate tyres on my car simply because their front and back are different. So I did get them rotated when they changed the first set of rears. So
Okay. And have you bought another set of tyres already?
I bought the full set, so the rears have been changed already. They were changed at around about the 60,000 mark, and the fronts are still waiting. So I've got them ready to be fitted whenever the fronts are coming to that point, but they're not there yet.
All right. So, what do you think now that you've had nearly 2 years under your belt of driving the i3? What do you think some of the best features of the i3 are?
Oh, look, it's a really unique car. It's been designed from the ground up to be an EV, and
It doesn't get some love from some people, does it?
Some people don't like the look. Some people don't like the fact that it's not the same as every other car. But I really like it. I like the interior. I like the space inside. It's really quite incredible. And then, of course, because it is that little bit smaller, it's just such a pleasure to drive, like whipping around corners, U-turns, all that sort of stuff. It's just a real pleasure.
Yeah. And if you could improve anything with the i3, what would you do?
Well, probably the biggest letdown on the i3 would be the adaptive cruise control. It uses a camera-only system, which is, I think, a big step backwards. There's no LiDAR in there, so visually, if it can't figure things out, then it just basically gives up, and it does that quite a bit. So if they were to add a LiDAR to that system like my old car had, then that system would become way better instantly. But they haven't done that, which is a bit of a letdown. That's probably the biggest one.
And potentially you would like to see a bigger battery? Maybe the same size as the Kona?
Well, they have 3 different size batteries. I've got the one in the middle. There is a bigger one available now.
Yeah.
I make do with the size battery I've got. I suppose it would be nice to have a bigger battery, but it's not something that I don't give too much thought with it. Like, I'm really comfortable when I go out. I know exactly how far the car can go. I know where all the charges are, so it's not, the size of the battery is not a big issue for me.
Yeah. Are you seeing through your tracking of the information any degradation in the battery?
None at all.
None at all?
I've tried to find it. I've been tracking everything when it comes to charging and each run, speeds, kilowatts in, you name it, is pretty much in my grasp. And I haven't.
Not even 1% or anything like that? None?
none at all.
Well, that's very interesting,
It's a
isn't
bit.
it?
I'm expecting to find it every day, but yeah, no, it's not a thing. I've not noticed anything on the range, and yeah, numbers wise, I'm not seeing any changes at all.
Wow. Okay. Excellent. So I guess lastly, if you know what you know now, and you had your opportunity to go back and make a decision again about the i3, do you think you'd still buy that, or would you maybe hold off for the Kona, or would you maybe even hold off for the Model 3 Standard Range Plus, because essentially all three of those cars are the same price?
No, I've had a bit of a thought about this question, and no, I don't think I would. I'm really happy with the i3. I don't think, apart from range, I don't think there's a huge amount of difference. Nothing there that grabs me. I know that technically, the Model 3 is an amazing piece of technology, but I like driving, and the i3 is a really, really good drive.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that it charges really fast. As you've seen with your tests, it charges basically at full speed right up to 85%. So, that's a really good feature in my book.
All right, well, that's just about it for the i3 of Chris's. This is a two-part series, so if you haven't already, check out the one about Chris's solar setup as well. And we'll catch you on the next one.
Cheers.
Hop in, we'll go for a drive.